This is my youngest dog, Snoop. Check out how we got this mix going on for the newest Jen's Apartment single, Vibing to the End of the World. This is my plugins right here, just the low cut and high cut that I can't do with my mixer. I've got, my guitar's cut. I've got like the outside kick. I'm bringing, the high all the way down as far as I can. And then on the master bus, just, limiter on the way out. And then I've got the tape for the 2-track sound, and then another low cut, just cutting out the low of the mixer below 50 hertz. So here we've got the DAW with all the channels loaded up. That goes into my interface, and those interface outs go into the mixer, and then you can see the 2-track that I recorded. We're just going back through everything now. My buses here are all set up for stereo buses, my parallel drum bus, normal drum bus, guitars, a vocal and a bass. All the tracks feed the buses. The buses feed the monitor section. I've got the monitor section up to monitor just the buses, not any of the 16 tape returns. That feeds the mix bus outs. I've got one feed my monitors. The other one goes to my dial bridge compressors. These are just barely kissing it, just gluing it together, bus comp style. And that's going into my DAW. And then you can see I've got my reverb unit. That's hooked up to my aux sends, my aux returns. That feeds it. So I've got my aux sends for my vocals, whatever else I want to send. And then I've got this comp. I've got modded my DBX 276 on my guitars. RVLA is on my parallel drum bus. And I've got the DBX 160X on my vocal bus. Just hitting that a little bit. My Neve clone EQs from Gap, I'm not using at all. I'm just on the Tascam EQs. They're super punchy. Everything feeds the 2-bus interface. I've got my patch bay, so I can do all my 1/4-inch cables into the RCA connections that are in the back. You can see my buses. Like I've got my first one is my vocal bus, definitely pushing that the hardest. My bass bus. Then I've got my parallel guitar bus. This is my normal drum bus, and that's my parallel drum bus. And then these are my 2 stereo buses. I've got them hit the same. One's just my monitors. But definitely clipping the bus, giving it that nice little oomph. The EQs on this are super fun. They're super punchy. They sound super, super good when you push them. I've got, the kick in. I'm not using any on the kick out. I'm using it on the snare, on the toms, everything else. It gives it a processed sound. It gives it the sound of, I'm adding a saturation. I'm adding EQ. I'm adding dynamics even. Like, it just sounds so good. And then I can ride my faders as they're feeding the stereo buses. So like the guitar, I'm looping, I'm bringing up and down in the verses. At this big heavy reverb part, I'm pushing up this guitar. I'm adding reverb on the out send. It gives it a cool, like, take over the sound kind of thing. You can hear. I like bringing down the buses. In this part here, you can kind of do a nice dynamic mix just from the buses if you want to. And you can see I'm clipping my out buses here going out of the mixer, but in the DAW, thanks to the unbalanced RCA connections, coming in nice and clean. You can keep everything at 0. I can push the mixer into saturation, whatever sweet spot I want. I don't got to worry about clipping the DAW. It's awesome.